What's holding you back from starting or growing your online dietitian business, also called virtual private practice? Today's video describes the number one reason that you're not further along, and I've got a client story to back it up. I'm Libby Rothschild, founder and CEO of Dietitian Boss. Welcome to our channel. Our program empowers dietitians and nutritionists to create their own private practice from scratch and emboldens already established practitioners to think bigger. The Dietitian Boss method provides a step-by-step process to improve how you market yourself on social media so your practice can become far more profitable and help more people. Finally, to also create an everlasting impact. The number one reason holding you back from either starting or exceeding your goals is taking imperfect action. I mean, just doing it, getting out there and showing your face. Tell people you're taking clients. Post yourself on social media. Yes, it's that simple. You just gotta do it. I want you to sit with me and write down 5 things that are holding you back. If you're listening to this while driving or doing the dishes or something, and you can't stop to write down what the 5 things are that hold you back, I want you to visualize it. Now, crumble it up and throw that list in the garbage, because that, my future dietitian boss, is a list of excuses. Elizabeth Taylor said it best: just do it. You force yourself to get up, you force yourself to put one foot in front of the other, and you refuse to let it get to you. You fight, you cry, you curse, and then you go about the business of living. That's how I've done it. And there's no other way. I can attest to that quote because that's how I've done it too. You just have to get started and do it. Take our client, Lindsey. She had to go through a whole mindset shift to get started. Lindsey's personal health journey made her want to help others, but she was afraid to start her own private practice. She felt that dietitians who had their own private practice had more experience, more years doing it, and more of everything than she did. In fact, when she was in school, having a virtual private practice meant that you had already paid your clinical dues with 2 years of clinical experience, had experience with your own brick and mortar private practice, and you had a vast depth of experience and knowledge. Now, I'm here to tell you that that's all untrue. Check out this video where I debunk the myth about serving 2 years of clinical, because it's just that, a myth. But as time went on, she started seeing other people open up virtual practices who didn't have as much experience, and Lindsey started wondering if she could do it too. When Lindsey started reaching out to other dietitians to ask about their journey into the virtual private practice space, they were helpful and incredibly supportive. Instead of feeling intimidated, Lindsey felt inspired. She began to identify the barriers that were holding her back from getting started, which were mostly just in her head. Lindsey knew she had to overcome them, so one day she did just that. Lindsey is a wife and a mother to a toddler, newborn, and 2 fur babies. She still has a full-time corporate job while running her online private practice. Before she started her private practice, she had all the excuses, and they were all completely valid. Don't get me wrong. I understand we all have difficulties that keep us from getting started, and I'm not trying to invalidate your story, but I want you to understand that you can have all the valid reasons to not get started and then still start anyway. Even if you have only a vague idea of what you want the next 5 or 10 years to be like, Lindsey says you'll never get to where you want to be if you never get started. And let me make a disclaimer here and tell you that I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I am saying it's going to be worth it. Right now, what might be holding you back is the story you're telling yourself of why you can't do it, and that's called imposter syndrome. The definition of imposter syndrome is a person that doubts their skills, talents, or accomplishments. Is that you? What should you do about it? You may have heard the advice to just fake it till you make it, and I partially disagree. For nutrition students and dietitians, there's no need to fake it. You have everything you need to be confident. You've done the schooling, you've gotten the experience, be it personal, clinical, or otherwise, and you know more about the subject than most people. And you can help your ideal client, meaning the people you want to serve, much more than a Google search. I mean, if you doubt that, try going on WebMD. and putting in your symptoms next time you feel a little bit off. And my best bet is that you'll inevitably end up thinking that you have something terminal. And that's one of the great things about the Dietitian Boss community found in my program, is that we are, for the most part, a very supportive group. It's suggested to reach out to other dietitians and ask for support. We encourage you to share your day and reflections. We grow together, and it's okay to be a type A personality that thinks he or she can do everything on their own and still break through and ask for advice. With everything that Lindsey has going on, she says that she always tries to do her best. It requires a little more strategy and organization, and it's possible. And the reward that comes from starting your own private practice is freedom, being your own boss, creating your own opportunities, and living the life you want. But first, you have to just do it. There's no other way. To hear more stories of fellow dietitian bosses, current and past clients of our program, check out Stephanie's story. As a student, she made money and feels aligned with her passion. Stephanie, like Lindsey, just did it, and so can you.